the deal? What's the deal? You already know who it is. It's your favorite Auntie Pooh. And y'all already know I'm coming with part 2 to the story because it's about to get juicy. And I know y'all don't want to wait, so we gonna go on and get right into it. So look, check this out. So like I said, Lefty and goddamn Jasmine, they getting it in. You know what I'm talking about? They doing their thing like it is what it is. So the next day or whatever, he was like, look, I gotta go out of town. And she was like, you do? He was like, yeah. He was like, so I'm going to get back at you. Like, babe, I got you. She was like, okay, or whatever. And he was like, here goes some money. Enjoy your weekend. Have a ball. She like, okay, cool. So Passion like, girl, what happened? She telling Passion like, man, you know, he know how to smash, the way he was grabbing me, the way he was kissing on me. Every stroke had me just gone or whatever. Passion like, oh, okay, like, that's what's up. You know what I'm saying? Like, girl, I told you to just live a little bit, like, have fun. I told you we gonna have a ball out here. We forgetting the past. It's all good. Jasmine like, I know, but you know, Jasmine like, I still want to move kind of slow. You know, I don't really want to rush into nothing. Like, I just want to enjoy it, you know? Passion was like, girl, you don't know what you missing. Like, you better take hold of that man. Like, girl, you never know who want him or whatever. And she like, well, I really don't care who want him, as long as he entertaining me for the time being or whatever. You did. So, Passion like, oh, okay, girl. So then they talking. Passion like, well, damn, I got to handle business again. I'll be back tomorrow. She like, you going out of town? She like, no, I'm not going out of town. I'm only going about an hour or two away. She like, but I'll be back. Jasmine like, oh, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? So Jasmine was like, well, shit, I'm hungry or whatever. So Jasmine she go to a little lounge or whatever. She's sitting there, order her some food, having her a drink or whatever. And she end up seeing the girl she worked with, a little Messy. And she like, hey, Jasmine. She like, well, hey, what's up? And she like, oh, well, I was just speaking, you know, I'm finna go back over here or whatever. And she was like, nah, girl, who you here with? And she was like, me and my cousin. And Jasmine was like, oh, okay, well, you know, I don't want to interrupt you. She was like, no, you know, when you get done, if you want to come, y'all know I'm at work. She like, when you get done, you know, if you want to come sit with us, you know, when you get your food or whatever, you know, you sit with us or whatever. Jasmine was like, y'all can come over here. I got this big old table, you know what I'm saying? She was like, you sure? She like, yeah, just had a waiter bring y'all stuff over here. So the Messy one, her cousin walk up, right? And when the cousin walk up, Jasmine like, damn, right? Because he fine. Like, he fine. He like, oh. So Jasmine was kind of took back because she the old girl from work. You know what I'm saying? And old girl Missy at work, so she think like, how you know this fine ass nigga? So Messy like, you know, this my cousin CeeLo. CeeLo introduced himself like, how you doing? I'm CeeLo. Jasmine like, hey. He like, how you doing? He like, we can join you. She like, sure. Or whatever. So, you know, Messy, she kind of looking, she laughing. She ain't really tripping. So, they all sitting there, they actually having a good conversation, and she really like look at Messy like, damn, you really a dope ass chick. You know what I'm saying? Like, she really, really cool. Like, Jasmine got a vibe that she used to get from Passion with Messy. You know what I'm saying? I forgot what I named Messy. What I named her? Nicole? I think I named her Nicole. And if I didn't, it's just going to be Nicole, okay? Just go ahead to roll with it. Hey, stay with the characters. So, she realized Nicole cool than a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? She cool than a motherfucker. So, she like, damn, like, you know how you just think somebody just loud, ghetto, or whatever, and then you realize, like, they really dope. So, as he's talking, he like, yeah, my cousin helped me get on my feet. You know what I'm saying? I used to be a bad boy in the street. You know, I used to be a D-boy and all that. He was like, but now I'm an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? I got little organizations. You know, I throw stuff for kids for Christmas. You know, he like an all-around, like somebody who truly turned their life around. She like, so what you do now? He like, oh, I coach the local high school team or whatever. She like, oh, for real? He like, yeah, actually, we got like one of our biggest games coming up next week. He like, you should come. So Nicole like, girl, yes, you should come, girl. Yes, I'll get you a shirt and get your pom-poms, girl. You gonna come? She like, I like that. Yeah, I'll come. You know what I'm saying? Because it's light and it's fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jasmine is feeling so good. She like, damn. So CeeLo and Jasmine is just talking. He like, well, you got somebody? And she was like, well, I do, I mess with somebody or whatever. And, he like, but, like, is it official? She like, pretty much, you know what I'm saying? He was like, but you saying pretty much, like, it's either official or it's not. She like, well, yeah, I'm like his girlfriend. He like, but you ain't his wife. He like, so you still free. And she was like, well, he was like, ain't no well, it's just facts. He like, if I ain't married, I'm single. She was like, okay. He was like, but nah, no pressure. He like, but just come support the team. You know what I'm saying? She like, I'ma come. They finish, they end up drinking, having fun. They all dance together, like in a little group, had a vibe, right? So she leave. He walk her to her car. Him and Nicole leave. Go home. He telling Nicole on the way home, like, what's up with her? Like, what's her story? She like, word at the job is she fuck with that nigga, Lefty or whatever. And the other girl at the job used to fuck with him, and he supposed to be that nigga. He like, but what type of character she got? Like, fuck the nigga. I don't really care about that. He like, and wait a minute. He like, did you say Lefty? She like, yeah, CeeLo, I said Lefty. He like, that nigga from over there, like, off of 23rd, like, I know you ain't. She like, yeah. He like, oh, all right. He like, yeah, I ain't worried about that. She was like, what, cuzzo? He was like, man, don't even trip. I got it. She was like, nah, she dope. She was like, she was really nice to me at work. She was cool. She was like, everybody think I'm ghetto and stupid, but that's just my friend. He was like, I know, cuzzo, you keep that shit up real well. He like, the way we been running business and handling business, he like, that's why I fuck with you. She was like, you always make a person think you loud and ghetto. They never expect you to be the one. He was like, exactly. He was like, but everything working and playing. He like, I just need me somebody. You know what I'm saying? And she was like, okay, cuzzo. He was like, all right, boom. He dropped Nicole off. He go about his business. Boom, it's the next day. Remind you, Passion is out of town. So Passion, she gets to her little hotel room. Passion walk in, got the jacuzzi, suite, all the shit. It's cracking, like, it's nice. She flopped down on the bed, the bathroom door open, and he like, what's up, baby? She like, what's up, daddy? He like, what's up with you? She like, nothing. He like, you miss me? She like, hell yeah, I miss you. He like, that's what's up. He like, look, I need you to hurry up with what you gotta do so we can make this shit happen. She was like, yes, sir. He was like, all right, then. Boom. He automatically snatched Passion by her hair, put her shit in a ponytail, like wrap it with his hand, bend her over and slide right up in her. And I mean, he's aggressive, like punishment. She like, wait, baby. He like, nah. He like, you want to play it this close? You want to keep playing with me? He like, every time I tell you to do one thing, you want to do another. She like, but what was I supposed to do? He like, exactly what I told you to do. And she was like, but that's my friend. And he was like, what? Now he pounding. She can't even do nothing. She just screaming like, oh my God. He pull out one hole, go on the other. She like, no. He like, shut the fuck up. Demolish her ass. You feel me? Demolish her, right? Boom. When he get done, he just like throw her. He like, now go clean up. She go in the bathroom, run a bath. Hold on, y'all. I gotta take my lashes off. She go in the bathroom, she run a bath, she get in there, now she in the tub, and she crying. He like, shut the fuck up with all that crying. I don't want to hear that shit. He like, bitch, because if you would have did what the fuck I told you to do, you wouldn't be in this situation. She was like, but he was like, shut the fuck up. So she just wiping her tears, washing her body up or whatever. He like, hurry up and get up out of here. She like, okay. He like, hurry up. We got somewhere to be. She like, okay. She get out the tub, do her hair, do her makeup. She get dressed or whatever. They leave. They get in the car. They go to this party, right? When they walk in a party, Passion freeze. And he like, why the fuck you ain't move? And she was like, oh, nothing. He was like, what the fuck? You fucking somebody in here? She was like, no, it ain't that. He was like, why the fuck you act like you seen a ghost? She like, I really thought I did. He like, bring your motherfucking ass on. So they go in the party. It's a gang of niggas in the party or whatever. So he introducing her, you know what I'm saying? Because she like a little show puppy, you feel me? He introducing her or whatever. And one of the dudes is real friendly, real fresh. You know what I'm saying? He like, oh, this shoe? Oh, boy, like, you know, he like, yeah. He like, So he slap her on the ass. Boom. She like, hold on, I don't know you. He like, bitch, I don't give a fuck. He like, bitch, you know where you at? You know who the fuck I am? You know who the fuck you talking to? So Passion nigga turned around and was like, you better fall in line. And she was like, okay. He was like, now, you got your mind right? She was like, yeah, I apologize. He was like, now, do you want this money or not, baby? She was like, I do. Boom, he take Passion in the room. They do what they do. Now, the nigga Passion, well, he just chilling, laid back. He pick up the phone, he called his girl. He like, what you doing? She like, nothing. He like, oh, okay. He like, you been enjoying yourself? She like, yeah. He like, all right, I'll be home in a couple of days. She like, okay, baby. He like, I love you. She like, I love you too. Hang up the phone. Passion in there, you know what I'm saying? She doing her thing. She come out feeling uneasy, you know what I'm talking about? But he look at her like, what's up with you? She like, nothing. I just feel bad. He like, feel bad about what? And she was like, you know, it's just, I got my friend at home. And he like, man, shut the fuck up. All of a sudden, you want to be a solid bitch. A loyal bitch. He like, bitch, you only supposed to be solid and loyal to me. He like, why the fuck you worried about her? She was like, cause she at home, you know. He was like, man, shut the fuck up. He was like, bitch, you ain't never been shit, ain't gonna never be shit. The fuck you sitting up here tomorrow? Oh, my friend. Bitch, shut up. Matter of fact, let's go. How much money you made? She like, I made 3 bands. He like, get that shit here. She handling the money. He like, let's go. He like, bitch, you an embarrassment. Right? She like, damn. You know what I'm saying? So he pulling her outside or whatever the party. They get outside down the street by the car. He talking shit. He like, bitch, you an embarrassment. You know what the fuck you supposed to do. You know what the fuck the plan is. You know how everything's supposed to fucking go. And you sit up here crying and shit. All of a sudden, you got a fucking conscience. You worried about friends and love and all kind of shit. What's up with you? She was like, I'm just feeling different. Like, I don't want to do it no more. He like, well, bitch, you ain't got no motherfucking choice. You go do it. He like, a motherfucker took from me and I'ma take from them. She like, but he like, I don't give a fuck. Shut the fuck up. He slapped the shit out of her. Boom, bam. Slap Passion down. So when Passion fall to the car, a car riding past. They roll down the window like, hey, you good? He like, man, get the fuck on. The nigga stop. He bounce out like, what the fuck you mean? He like, bro, you out here hitting on a bitch? He like, so what? Mind your business. Mind your business. He like, nah, that ain't the point. Nigga, take that shit somewhere else and get the fuck up out my neighborhood, nigga. So by then, the niggas that was in his car hopped out the car too, like, nigga, what you on? And she like, Passion like, it's okay. He like, man, be quiet. That nigga might hit on you, but he ain't gonna hit on us, nigga. If that nigga can be bold enough to hit on you in public like this, nigga, he can get down with one of us. He didn't want no smoke. He was like, y'all can have it, bitch. And left her. Passion just crying. He threw the bitch. She like, but you took my money. He threw the money like, huh, bitch. She picking her money up like, fuck that. I ain't too proud. Nigga, I work for this. She picking her money up crying. Nigga told her, look, fuck that little bit of money. Pick your face up. Where you live at? She like, I stayed with the whoop. He like, We go get you a room and make sure you straight. She like, no, it's okay. He like, how's it okay? You out here in this little ass dress. He like, you ain't got nothing. You just got your phone. What you finna do? And she looking like, damn. He like, man, I'm not gonna do nothing to you. My boys ain't gonna do nothing to you. He like, I literally can make them get out the car. And she was looking like, nah, he playing. Maybe he was like, hey, y'all walk to the spot. I'm gonna take her to the little room, get her a room or whatever. They was like, all right, boss. They get out the car. She like, damn. He like, look, I just don't like that shit. My mama went through abuse. My mama used to prostitute, all that type of shit. He like, I ain't that type of man. I don't like shit like that. He like, so I don't go for it. He like, I don't want nothing from you. I just want to make sure you straight. Passion, like, oh my God, thank you. He take her to the room, and it's a nice room at that. And she was telling him, like, you know, this room right here is fine. He was like, you ain't laying in that shit. He take her to a nice room. He get her a room, but when he walk in, they like, oh, hey, Mr. L. He like, how y'all doing? He like, let me get a room. They like, no problem. They give him a room. He like, make sure this young lady get to her destination and she's straight. Anything she want to eat, clothes, whatever, because it's a little shop in there. He like, whatever she want, charges to the room. I got it. They like, sure, Mr. L. Passion go upstairs. And she cried after she get her room because she just like in disbelief, like, I've been fucking with this man and dealing with this man, and we've been hustling together for years. Like, I can't believe he just abandoned me, right? So, you know, Big L, he leave. But he did leave her with his number, you know, in case she needed something. So she laying there. She ended up taking a bath, relaxing. And then she called him about 2 in the morning and was like, you know, I can't sleep. And I just couldn't sleep without just telling you again how much I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to come back up here, you know, I'll service you like it's. He was like, nah, I'm good. He like, I told you, I did this because I don't like seeing nobody being abused. He like, that's it and that's all. I ain't got no other motive. She just like, damn. You know, that really turned her on. And she was like, well, can I call you, you know, once I get back home? And he was like, sure, no problem. He was like, I travel in and out. You know what I'm saying? He like, I'm not from here. And she was like, oh, right. So, boom. Jasmine, you know, she done had a good night. She done had a cool little night or whatever. So she go to work. They call her in like, hey, you do some OT? She like, yeah. Jasmine go to work. Her and Nicole like besties. Now the workplace kind of looking like, oh, they cool. You know what I'm saying? And Nicole was like, look, these bitches gonna be hating. They really think I'm a dummy. They really think I'm a fool. They really think I'm ghetto. But you know the real me. I know how to be a lady. I know how to be smooth. You know what I'm saying? And she was like, I love it. She was like, but me and you good. She was like, but watch these bitches. She was like, I already know. So, boom. And she was like, girl, you know, my cousin kind of like you. She was like, you know, he's sweet. I do like his energy. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. So then Jasmine was like, well, what you doing when you get off work, girl? She was like, nothing. She was like, girl, let me make you some tacos or something. Like, let me cook for you. And then Nicole was like, girl, tacos, you better make me some goddamn rice and gravy, some smothered pork chops with and some cornbread and cabbage and shit. She like, don't play with me. So Jazz was like, girl, I ain't cooked now South food in a minute. Like, yes, girl, let's do it. So Passion ended up calling or whatever. And Jasmine like, hello. She like, damn, you seem excited. You know what I'm saying? She like, girl, me and Nicole, we just want to, you know what I'm saying, go to the grocery store and get some stuff. I'm going to make some soul food tonight or whatever. Like, whatever. She was like, oh, you and Nicole? And she was like, yeah, girl, you know, my coworker, you know, she cool or whatever. We went out the other night. She like, oh, y'all went out the other night. She like, yeah, we went out the other night. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, what's the problem? She was like, oh, no, I'm just saying. So Passion was about to tell Jasmine everything that went on, but she was a little jelly. You feel me? That Nicole and motherfucking that Nicole and goddamn Jasmine was getting along or whatever. So she didn't say nothing. So she decided to stay that motherfucking night. You know what I'm saying? So Passion was like, fuck this shit. I'm finna get a motherfucking bag. So Passion do what she do best. Hopped on the internet, got her some dates, did her shit. In the middle of her catching her dates and just being reckless and doing what she doing, nigga, it's about to be the next day. She just got her last date. The phone ring in a hotel. She like, hello, it's Big L. He like, hello? She like, yeah. He like, make that your last little, that name in my room, and that ain't what I got you that room for. I got you that room for you to be safe, not for you to be sitting up here playing no games. Like, that ain't what I got it for, baby. I don't even rock like that. I'm not no P. You feel me? Well, and he like, I ain't no Captain Saber, but this is what I'm saying. This is why niggas don't like being real niggas. Like, you taking advantage of what the fuck I did for you. She like, my bad. Like, it wasn't like that. He was like, you had more than enough money to go home. You know what I'm saying? He like, but it's all good though. And then he just hung up. So she feeling bad. Like, damn, I done fucked up. Or whatever. So, Logo on about his motherfucking day. He doing what he do, right? And so his boys was like, damn, what's up with baby girl? You helped last night. He was like, I'm cool, you know what I'm saying? He like, but she, she hoeing and all that. And they like, well, bro, you really can't knock her if that's her hustle or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he like, yeah, but she was with that bitch ass nigga. And they was like, what? He was like, yeah, with that bitch ass nigga. He was like, you know what I'm saying? They was like, oh, so that's really him. They like, why you didn't say nothing last night? We could have knocked that nigga off. He like, nah, I got a game plan for this nigga. I got a game plan for his motherfucking ass. And he was like, oh, all right. He like, yeah. He like, okay. You know what I'm saying? He like, boss, whatever you say. If you got a plan, they like, man, when boss got a plan, it's going down. He like, so when I tell you niggas be ready, he like, be ready. They like, say less, right? So now Passion on her way home. Girl, Nicole and Jasmine is in the motherfucking house, honey. And it's smelling good. They got the motherfucking music on, bitch. They is in there having a motherfucking ball. You hear me? They is in there having fun. They is vibing. And Nicole like, damn, it just feel like I know you. Like, we met before. And Jasmine was like, on everything. Like, it do not seem like we don't know each other. Like, it's crazy or whatever. And then she was like, where you from? And they got to talking. And she like, damn, I kind of got family that way. She like, girl, we probably cousins. So her and Jasmine just like, girl, we probably is. Like, since we know a couple of the same people, bitch, we probably related. They just vibing. So Jasmine gone and cook food busting. Jasmine got goddamn rice, smothered pork chops, goddamn macaroni and cheese, cornbread, and goddamn cabbage. And I'm talking, damn, I'm gonna cook that shit tonight. That shit that made me hungry in the middle of the damn story. My bad, let me get back on track. That shit busting. That shit busting, right? In the middle of them, eating dinner or whatever, Nicole phone ring, and it's CeeLo. CeeLo like, where you at, cuz she like, oh, over here, Jasmine and made some goddamn smothered pork chops, rice and gravy, macaroni and cheese with you, whoop, da 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 da. He like, shit, can I get a motherfucking plate? She like, where you at, cuz he like, I just got back in town. He was like, or whatever. And she was like, okay. She was like, let me ask Jasmine, it's okay. She was like, tell him he can come get a to-go plate or whatever like that, or whatever. So he was like, what, I'm invited? She was like, yeah, because Nicole had her on speaker, like, you can tell her yourself. So she like, yeah, you can come get a plate, but you gonna pay me. He was like, oh, I gotta pay. She was like, nah, you good. Come get a plate. He pull up about 30 minutes later. She got his plate. She had packed it to go or whatever. And so he was outside. He didn't come inside. They walked outside, Nicole and Jasmine. And they like, cuz, what you been doing? He was like, nothing, chilling, just working, doing what I do. You already know. Had to go out of town, came right back with you, da 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 da. So Jasmine was like, oh, that's everybody thing going out of town around here. He was like, nah, not like that. He was like, I just go back and forth, like, to my spot here and then come back here. He like, but I'm mainly here. She was like, oh, okay, or whatever. So he was like, yeah, I'm going to go home and I'm going to tell you what this plate about. He like, I might do a video about it. Ain't that what y'all be doing? She was like, whatever. She was like, my food good. And Nicole was like, nah, cause her food busting, like her food busting. He like, oh, okay, all right, we'll see. So when he gets home, he walk in, a couple of his homeboys there. They like, damn, nigga, that shit smell good. Like, where you get that from? He like, the little broad my cousin work with. They like, yeah. He like, he bust the plate open, he warm it up, he eat the shit. He like, damn. So he like, hey, bro. He like, each one of y'all get a spoon, bro. Y'all getting a spoonful. But she did pack him up a big, chunky ass motherfucking plate. He was like, bro, I want y'all to taste this and tell me your honest opinion. He like, bro, get you a piece of meat, get your mac, get the cabbage, taste it. They like, bro, this shit fire. They like, she really cooked this. Like, they like, bro, I will buy this. He like, bro, I think I want to invest in her. They like, but do she cook? He like, not that I know of. They like, well, nigga, you talking about investing already? He like, bro, she got the talent. He like, ain't no point of wasting. He like, when you see somebody with talent, bro, and you got the money, he like, invest in them. They like, yeah, you right, bro. They like, cause I ain't gonna lie, I'll buy this shit. He like, I wonder what else she should cook. So he end up calling Nicole like, hey, put your friend on the phone. Her and Nicole, they sitting up there drinking by now. Now they just goddamn margarita and out. They just chilling. They sitting on the couch watching TV and shit. She put him on speaker. She like, what, cuz you own my friend. Damn, I just met her. Like, you gonna run her up. He like, no, I'm not. He like, hey, do you really like to cook? And she was like, I do. She was like, that's one of my favorite things I used to do. She was like, but I kind of lost my passion. Something had happened. And he was like, look, I understand all that. He like, but would you really want to cook full time? And she was like a restaurant? He like, a food truck, a restaurant? He like, yeah. She was like, I ain't got no motherfucking money. I work with your cousin. He like, I ain't asked you about that. So now she kind of like looking at the phone like, and she muted it like, is your cousin serious? She was like, no, he's serious. And she was like, and what I had to do for this and the food truck and all that? He was like, nothing. He was like, I really want to invest. He was like, but would you be willing to do like a sample of all your food? And she was like, sure. He was like, I'll give you a budget and you make everything you feel is best what you would want on the menu. He was like, can you do that for me? And she was like, yeah. He was like, can we get it done by Friday? She looking like, motherfucker, it's Tuesday. And she like, are you serious or you playing with me? He like, I'm serious. She like, yeah, I can have it done. Baby, they hung up the phone. Her and Nicole is screaming. Nicole like, oh my God, you really gonna do it? Nicole like, bitch, can I work the front? Cause I don't want to work at this goddamn company no more, bitch. She like, hell yeah, you can work the front. Hell yeah, you can be over entertainment, all the shit. They both going back and forth like, he playing. And Nicole like, nah, my cousin not playing. They kind of screaming up and down. You know what I'm saying? They doing what they doing. So in the midst of them screaming up and down, Passion walked to the door. So of course, she got an attitude because what she been through, she like, what y'all screaming about? And then Nicole was like, girl, my cousin go invest if he like her food. And she was like, Passion like, ain't who food? And she like, Jasmine like, mine. She like, girl, you don't even cook like that. She was like, Passion, did you forget how much I cooked until what happened? She was like, girl, but even then, like, you was all right, but not like restaurant material. She was like, Nicole was like, well, damn. I don't know what happened to you over the weekend, but damn. Don't rain on her parade. She like, girl, look, I'ma go. She was like, I'ma go and go. She was like, but if you need me, call me. She was like, and we'll go shopping for all the food and stuff when we get off work tomorrow. She was like, all right, girl, call me. She was like, I'm going to text you when I get home. So Nicole just walked past and was like, bye. And then Passion was like, bye. And Nicole was looking like, I don't trust this bitch. Right? So Jasmine telling Passion, like, this is what, this was going on. And Passion just very lackluster about what's going on. Really didn't give a fuck. Really didn't care to celebrate her. You know what I'm saying? And she like, oh, okay. And so Passion is like, so what made her cousin just want to invest in you? Like, what y'all do this weekend? She like, huh? She like, nothing. I just could. And he stopped by. She like, so you had a nigga in my house? Jasmine like, what? Jasmine like, first of all, if you gonna be on some my house shit and all that, I'll get my own shit. And she was like, no, I didn't mean it like that. She was like, girl, I just had a rough ass weekend. She like, my bad. I didn't mean it like that. She just like, I'm just worried about your safety. So Jasmine like, okay. Like, okay. You feel me? Oh, okay. Okay. That's what we on. So then Passion was like, no, for real, friend, my bad. I'm just a little out of it. Like, just tell me, what's going on. Like, I'm proud of you or whatever. And Jasmine was like, nothing, I think he playing. I'ma just cook and whatever. And, Passion killed the mood. So Jasmine just downplayed it like, oh no, he just playing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't nothing, no big deal, whatever. Like, her moment was took. You know what I'm saying? Like, she didn't even feel like it was even worth, like, you know what I'm saying? Even going there with her about, like, you already seem like you not happy, so I'm not even finna, like, give you no more details about what's really going on. You know what I'm saying? So it was one of those moments. Or whatever. So Jasmine get a text from Nicole, like, girl, I'm home. And Nicole was straight up. She was like, bitch, it's something to watch your friend. So she ended up calling Nicole, was like, she walked outside and was talking to her and was like, girl, I don't know what's up with her. You know what I'm saying? We live two different lifestyles. She go out of town. She was like, Nicole was like, well, you know what girls do when they go out of town up here. And she was like, what you mean? She was like, sell friends, sell pussy? And she was like, no. She was like, then why your friend be going out of town? What does she do? She leave and come back with money? And Jasmine like, yeah, but she like, so your friend sell pussy? She like, Jasmine, you need to open up your eyes or whatever. And she was like, that's been my friend since we was young. She was like, you know what I'm saying? I think she'd tell me if she was selling pussy. She like, oh, okay. Nicole was like, you better be careful. And then she was like, okay. She was like, girl, I'll see you at work, though. You know what I'm saying? They like, cool, I'll see you at work. So that's how they ended it off. Like, they'll see us at work. And, baby, this when everything start getting to the nitty-gritty. Because when they get to work, they having a vibe. They talking.